What's up guys, Chaz here with a new series called Hey Chaz, and this is simply where you send your questions, say hey Chaz, and then enter your question, and I will hop on here on video and answer it for you. These are all based on my personal experience and my personal opinions. Whether you agree or not, that's on you. Question number 1 comes from one of our Instagram followers, so thank you first of all for supporting the Instagram channel. We are Side Hustle Pros if you want to follow us over there. This comes from Jeremy, who asks, hey Chaz, I'm trying to become a seller on Amazon. I wanted to follow up with you. I wonder what niche or product do you think would be a good investment? Can you please help me out with any advice? And if you may, can you also please give me an estimate of how much money it takes to normally start? Very common question. That's why I wanted to hop on here in video and answer that for you, Jeremy, because I know that a lot of other people may benefit from this. First and foremost, I cannot give you the 1 or 2 products I think you should start with, because they are products that it took me a few years to figure out what worked for me. But I can teach you how to fish rather than just giving you the fish. There's 2 ways that you can start, whether this is on Amazon or eBay. So that question right there of what do I start with, what type of product, what category, what niche, that's a very common thing that people ask. There's 2 main ways that I believe you can do this. Number 1, go wide first. This means you go and buy different products from different categories, maybe just a few units or a few items from a shoe category, maybe a few items from a clothing. You have electronics, you have home and kitchen, you have video games, you have all these different categories. So buy a few products from each type of category. If it's for Amazon, send them into FBA. If it's for eBay, then go ahead and photo, get those listed. Then when things start to move and those sales start to happen, you can keep an eye on which types of categories are working best for you. Then you can go deep on those and forget the rest. So let's say you buy 5 units of a specific toy. You buy 5 different toys. Send those into Amazon. You buy 5 different electronics, send those in. You buy 5 different pairs of shoes, send those in. And you see that the electronics and the shoes are not really moving too fast. They're not doing too well for you. But your toys sold out like that. If I were in that position, I wouldn't even bother with the shoes and the electronics. I would go in on toys because I know those are moving for me. So that's method number 1, is go wide first, see what works, and then go deep on those categories. Method number 2 is you choose one niche, one category, one type of product, and go in on it. There's plenty of people, shoes for example, there's a lot of people that in shoes, they chose to do the shoe category and they went deep on it, and that's all they do is shoes from the get-go. So that's method number 2, is just choose a category and just go in on it. If you do it for a few months and it's just not working out for you, choose a different category and dominate it. Prime example, if you do not follow these guys, Hustler Hacks and Hustle B on Instagram and on YouTube, they're a prime example of they knew shoes, they chose the shoe category and they dominated that category. They gained every ounce of knowledge they have on that one product. Now that's totally up to you if you want to choose method 1 or 2. Go wide, test out the different markets, see what works for you, and then go deep. Or if you know what you like, maybe it's a passion of yours, maybe you're a mom and you know the toys game, maybe you're a sneakerhead, you know sneakers, and you go in and start flipping sneakers. Or maybe you know 90s electronics. You know the inner workings of how all that is. You know the value and the price points of everything. So you go in on whichever niche that you know, and it's typically going to be a passion of yours. Prime example, I cannot walk into a store and sort through the clothing racks and know what I'm looking at just because it was not a niche that I chose. It was not something I practiced. I don't have the knowledge base for it. But if you send me into a Target in the video game section when there's some sales going on, I know which deals to snipe to be able to make a profit. But that took time, patience, and practice, and that is the end of this question right here, is you need to practice patience with this. Whatever types of products or niche that you want to go into, you need to know that you have to practice to gain the knowledge base and to gain the skill set to be able to walk into a store, a thrift store, a garage sale, wherever, and to see these products and know the value. As you start to get better in practice, you actually get to the point where you don't even need to check your seller's app anymore. You don't need to check your eBay app for comps. You know what things are worth and you know what a good deal is. And to end this, the last question was, how much startup capital do you need? This is going to be completely different for everybody. Obviously in the game of selling products, whether you're a flipper on eBay or you're running a wholesale business on Amazon, the larger bankroll you can start with, the better. But with that being said, do not sacrifice your rent money to go and start flipping stuff. Whatever money you put into your selling business, you need to make sure that's money you can part ways with for a while. We personally started with $500 in our reselling business. Other people start with $50,000. Some people start with $50 and they work their way up, but it's gonna take a long time. It's a patience game at that point if you're starting with limited to little capital. A solid ballpark number, in my personal opinion, would be $500 to $1,000, somewhere in that range if you're starting out just flipping stuff on eBay and then you get into the Amazon game. As you scale up and you get into retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, private label, your bankroll needs to be a little bit bigger to get into the actual ball game with that. And with that, real quick, biggest tip I can give you is whatever you start with, again, you need to separate yourself from that money and reinvest every single dollar you can for as long as you can in your business. If you make $1,000 in a month with your selling, but you take $500 and you go pay bills or pay off debt or do something with that money, you only have $500 left to reinvest into product. And you're probably only going to make $1,000 the next month. But if you have the full 1,000, you can turn that 1,000 into 1,500, turn that 1,500 into 2,000 and scale your way up as long as you are reinvesting. So it doesn't matter if you start with $50 or 50,000, whatever the amount, just make sure you do your best to reinvest every single dollar back into your business. Thanks for the question, Jeremy, much appreciated. If you guys want your questions answered here on the channel, just shoot me a DM on Instagram with the hashtag HeyChaz and ask your question. We will get you plugged up on here. This has been Chaz with Side Hustle Pros. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button if you got some value out of this, leave a comment below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. That took every ounce of energy I had not to break. Oh man. I've got amazing peripheral vision, by the way. You just need some hammer pants after that. Oh. Back to work.